Jeff, we'll start with, or just say your name.
Jeff Golden.
Bev Lunenberg.
Carissa Bugler.
Cheryl Corman.
Joey Schugel.
Welcome, and we also have guests. Welcome to our guests today. Approval of the agenda. Looking for a motion to approve the agenda, or if there's any changes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion has carried to approve the agenda as it stands. We also have the approval of the meeting minutes from our last meeting on May 13th.
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Cheryl, I'll let you pick. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in
Here,
favor,
never
please
mind.
say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. Motion has carried. Next is the city agenda item number 5, City Council meeting recap. Director Schugel.
Thank you, Chair Bugler, Commissioners. Recapping some of the City Council items pertaining to Park and Rec. At the May 21st regular meeting, it was approved for staff to apply for the Alina Health charitable contribution grant for free fitness in the park. Also at that same meeting, it was the lease to New Ulm Baseball Association for lawful gambling was approved. At that meeting, there was considerable discussion related to Park and Rec's decision not to recommend approval for that. So, and the City Council did, multiple councilors said how important our commissions are to their decision making. So they wanted to thank
What
our
was
commission
the-
for that.
What was the vote?
The vote was unanimous.
Oh, it was,
Yes,
okay.
yes. If I'm remembering right, it was unanimous. Yep. But there was a lot of discussion on that one. And then at the June 4th meeting, they approved use of Riverside Park to the American Legion Post 132 for an event July 17th from 3 to 8. That event will include a cannon shoot from the New Ulm Battery.
Okay, thanks, Director Schugel. Any questions? Do we have a motion to approve the recap?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion, a second, please.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion has carried. All right, moving on to old business, the comprehensive plan update.
Yes, thank you, Chair Bugler, Commissioners. As you know, the comprehensive plan has sat on this agenda for over almost 2 years now for updates. So a lot has happened since our last meeting. So there was a community open house at City Hall on May 15th, and almost 40 members from the public attended that event and gave great feedback to city staff, as well the consultants were there who were designed the plan. From there, the Planning Commission approved the comprehensive plan at their May 30th meeting and recommended City Council for approval. Ultimately, City Council then did approve the comprehensive plan at their first meeting in June. I will note, though, the 4 area plans were not part of that. So that will come later this month to Planning Commission and then potentially City Council in July.
Okay. And in kind of each of those 4 plans, there's a bit and pieces that would influence us as well.
Yes, Chair
For Park and
Bugler.
Rec.
So yes, there are different, each area plan has a Park and Rec aspect and high involvement with our, what we're trying to do in our community.
Okay. Great to see engaged community members coming to learn more and offer their feedback and support. Okay, thanks, Director Schugel. All right, moving on to new business, Veterans Memorial Concept. There is a link, also Joey's putting it up on the screen, of kind of a new idea or slightly modified proposal of what we have seen in the past, so I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Chair Bugler, Commissioners. So, as you know, we started some discussion on this back at a March work session. At that time, discussion was around potential enhancements to the Veterans Memorial down at German Park. And that kind of started around adding some flagpoles in there and then a Veterans Square concept with included a high number of benches and panels to finish out that area. And since then, there's been a lot of discussion around it and a lot of feedback. But in addition to that, staff and has really evaluated that area and kind of how the best use for that area long-term looks like. So after that, so here are some considerations made, and I'll touch on this concept in a second here. So the reason this concept came together is trying to protect some of our green space down at German Park, and trees. So one of the things, if we were looking at flagpoles as we did back in March, we would lose 2 healthy trees down there, a linden and a hackberry. Maybe 2 trees doesn't sound like a lot, but we do have 14 ash trees within the park right now too. 9 of those will more than likely be lost in the near future. 5 of those currently are being treated. They might be around longer, but ultimately at some point probably would lose those too. So that would be 16 trees at that time. So trying to weigh, keeping our urban forest down there protected. In addition, protecting green space as I indicated, but also all the different uses in the park. And one of the things with that original location, very prominent city community park, great location to bring high number of people for many different uses. But with that area, you're kind of tied to all those different uses in the same spot, and it's not a blank space. There's only so much room to really do something great like we want this Veterans Memorial to be and is today. So with that, this is the concept that we were looking at. As you'll notice, there's the 6 current benches from our fallen service members in Vietnam. There's the 2 panels, so that's existing today. You'll see that existing memorial bench to the right of your screen is there today. We're going to talk about in donations, offsetting that future memorial bench. So in donations today and the next agenda item, we'll talk about that. But this concept then brings in those flagpoles in a symmetrical, close to the memorial setting, and it would look something very similar to this. So kind of looking like it fit in from the beginning. And one of the reasons we also are here, just to back up, as you remember, there's still donated money left over from the original memorial that was put in. So that would fund these improvements here. With that, we have had considerable communication with our Veterans Committee as we've went through this process. And we talked about how could we recognize future, veterans, Vietnam veterans. So coming up with areas in that kind of tan area for paver stones potentially to recognize future members, which wouldn't take up as much of the green space, wouldn't impact trees down there, but still a really nice way to recognize those members if they wish to be recognized. And the pavers, as everyone hopefully knows, are a huge part of German Park's tradition. Mm-hmm. There is a full walkway of pavers, and there would be area potentially to even expand on this in the future if needed.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how many donor pavers could potentially be included in that?
I don't have that number, but on the sheet, it would be a fairly high number.
Okay.
Our standard is a 2x4 inch paver stone. A double is a 4x4.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, and the only other thing I didn't touch on is some lighting aspect then for both the flagpoles and the memorial that currently aren't on location right now.
Okay. And those would be included in the concept
Yes,
for the
they are
illuminate.
included.
Oh, they
Yes,
are. Okay,
yep.
already. I see it. Okay.
So happy to answer any questions related to this topic.
Okay. Would anyone like to approach the commission? No? Okay.
Rush, how big were the pavers, you say?
Tom, they're 2x4 yes, and then for a double, it's 4x4. So they just expand into a square.
It's typical what's going up those.
Yes, it's the same size of what's in there right now.
And is there a cost involved?
They're
Other than the paver itself?
no, so the paver is the full cost included for the 2x4 is $250, the double is $400. And that's right in line with our other pavers in our park system.
Any questions from the commission?
And the veterans have looked at this, and thank you for serving also.
We've reviewed it, between us,
Okay.
and I think this is what we kind of
Yeah,
decided.
this is what, I was kind of heading that up. I had many comments, and the first, when this came about, putting something there, we were looking at things to put there, different monuments or what, and it came up to be flags. A lot of, on the comments for flags, which is a good idea originally, because the original drawing, which he hasn't got here, had allowance for flags in the middle of the area, 3 poles, there they got American flag, MIAKA, and then a state flag, and we kind of went with that, and then after what Joey said here, they looked at it, they thought that space shouldn't be used for flags, the flags need to go somewhere else. So we went with 2 flags there. Actually, we'd like to get 3 flags in there, and Joey thought we could get 3 in there by trimming the tree a little bit later on. He said, no, there's room for 2. Right now, where those 2 flags are, it's just dirt there, there's nothing, there's grass or anything, or cement. Fit right in there. So, I guess we want to go with 3 flags. Always the option to put the WMIA, the US flag, and do the state flag right on the other one. The other thing I talked about was base flag pole would have some kind of a base on that would match the monument, kind of the color and stone in that. That's kind of what we had talked about. I probably had 1 or 2 people that really wanted the 3rd flag that maybe could be across the sidewalk, not right in the middle of it, to a triangle type. Because behind it, but it had 3 flags, but then behind the monument, it had 3 benches. There wasn't enough room for that, so I put 3 flags, have to be out front somewhere. That, it just kind of impacted the view of the monument. So, we'll go with that.
Okay, so it seems like a compromise was found with the concept that we're seeing today.
These are all veterans groups.
Yeah,
There's about 7 of us that,
okay,
and then we talked to many more about it.
yeah.
Sort of, I had picked one up. Most of them came up,
Oh.
2 flag ones.
Appreciate that background and the feedback on,
And
How we got here.
Mr. Yanni's correct that with the 2 pole option, we would set up the poles for a variety of options to fly more than 2 flags, and there's ways to do that if
Okay.
that's desired.
okay. Okay. Any other questions from the commission? Hearing none, I will look for a motion to approve the Veterans Memorial concept that includes the addition of the flagpoles, the lighting, and the area for the future donor paver stones.
I'd make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion has carried.
And Chair Bugler, Commissioners, I just will add one thing to this. This will also go in front of Monuments and Cemetery Commission, as it would impact our monument in our system already too, prior to going to City Council.
Okay.
And
So
they
we
meet-
would both then
Yes.
offer a recommendation to the city council?
Yes, and they
Okay.
meet next week.
Okay. Excellent. Great. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
your work
working
on
on
that. Thanks to you, Director Schukel, as well, your work on
Yes.
finding this concept. All right, moving on in the agenda, donations. We have quite a few donations, Director Schukel.
Yes, thank you,
Great.
Chair Bugler, Commissioners. Just bear with me a little bit while I read through these. First off, we have a pickleball general donation from Janet Carey and Lowell Zellman, both in the amount of $250. The next I will read are for the Gary Wilczek bench, memorial bench, that would offset the current bench to make a symmetrical look within that concept. And Ann Wilczek and family, $200. Dan Meyer, $100. Everett and Phyllis DeKramer, $100. Floyd Holm, $100. Flying Dutchman, $800. Gail O'Connor, $100. Greg and Vicky Peterson, $100. Jerry Knockreiner, $200. Larry Kilmer, $100. Ramona Widmer, $100. Roy and Helen Yanni, $100. Tom and Susan Hoban, $200. William and Mary Waldschmidt, $50. And that would include all those with the Gary Wilczek bench. We have a donation for flowers at German Park in the amount of $153.90 from Herbie the Hedgehog. And that will go in the planters right at the upper part of the band shell. Not the band shell, the amphitheater. We have New Ulm Baseball Association for $3,000 for Johnson and Miller Park improvements. Rec on the Go program supported by New Ulm Public Schools for $6,400. And then more pickleball general from Laura Schatzko, $500. Betty Camels, $150. Linda Marty, $300. Elwood Helt, $250. And Susan Vogel for $200. That totals $13,703.90. And thank you to all those individuals and groups that are donating.
Director Schugel, so some of these are making sense, what sparked the interest in the donation, but what's the pickleball general donations that's sparking all of these donations?
Great question, Chair Bugler. So we don't have a formal pickleball association in New Ulm, but we have very active players that call themselves a group, just not formalized, and they really wanted to this point, really haven't invested in giving back to pickleball like other groups, and this kind of was spearheaded by one of those players who was getting together to say, hey, what can we do to further push pickleball forward in New Ulm?
Okay.
And this is the start of that. So these dollars would go into a restricted account within the city that would only go to pickleball improvements, and staff would work with the pickleball players to say, to work with what those improvements look like down the road.
So to be determined what that looks like, future courts or enhancements to our
Right.
current courts? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I see Washington's coming right along, huh?
Lincoln, yes.
Lincoln,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I get a lot of questions about that. So there's quite a broad pickleball interest in the community, which is awesome to see, and really grateful for the improvements that are going to be made, but impatiently waiting maybe as well for it to be done. All right, any questions on the donations that have been received? If none, I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the donations.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign. The motion has carried. Thank you. The generosity of the community is once again quite amazing. Reports from commissioners and staff. Agenda item 8.1, Department Activity Report. There's a link in your agenda to take a peek at all the great things as we kick off summer for the community.
Thank you, Chair Bugler, Commissioners. Just a couple things to highlight out of this report. And as always, if there's any questions, please follow up with staff on those. Our seasonal facilities opened in May, so we saw the splash pad at North Park and both wading pools open at Lincoln and Washington Parks, and Herman Monument also opened for the season. So busy with our seasonal facilities there. Also, May was Water Safety Month, and our staff had a very nice article in the New Ulm Journal that was highlighted as a lifestyle feature and the importance of water safety, and has done social media campaign around the importance of water safety for all. And those are the couple things I did want to highlight. Any questions on anything within the activity report?
Okay. I think we need a motion to approve. We do. Any other questions for Director Schugel? If none, looking for a motion to approve as presented.
I'll make a motion to receive and order filed the May 2024 activity report.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Same sign. Motion has carried. Thank you. Exciting things going on. All right, agenda item 8.2, the staff report.
Thank you, Chair Bugler, Commissioners. Summer is in full swing, especially today. Most programming did start that is scheduled for early summer as of today. So staff has been busy training leading up to today, and a lot of different programs going, including camps, athletics, rec on the go. Summer concerts started last week at German Park. Reminder, Thursday nights is the new night for summer concerts in German Park. And Puppet Wagon again is back for another year and is out and about within the community. The German Park fountain repair is nearing completion. We have a few weeks to go there, but all things are moving forward. We're hoping by the end of the month to have the fountain operational. We mentioned pickleball already at Lincoln Park, so Phase 1 is very close to completion. Phase 2 will happen about 30 days after Phase 1. Phase 1 was the new asphalt base and corrective work there, and Phase 2 will actually be the actual pickleball surface on top of that then, and nets, posting, and all of that. So we're hoping and shooting for a July-August opening date back, but there will be pickleball still this summer outdoors,
Awesome.
so at Lincoln Park. And then the air handler unit replacement project has begun at the recreation center. It's work you will not see if you are in the facility behind the scenes. So some of that work is started. The heavy lifting of that project will be early fall.
Will you feel that it's going on? Will it affect the temperature and the,
Ideally, no,
okay,
but at some point we will feel
Yeah.
that in the field house. Yes.
Sure. All right. Any questions for Director? How long has a puppet wagon been around? It is just, it's just amazing. It's got to be around for 40 years or longer.
I think it's even longer than that. I had someone, and I'm forgetting who approached me and has history on it, and I said, yes, please send it to it. One of our staff members' relatives does, actually.
that's awesome.
So we're
Nice
hoping
to
to
see
gather
those
that.
things.
Maybe that would be a,
You still get a good crowd?
we do, yes, and I think one of the nice things is where we're going is near daycares and centers, and really being strategic about where, you know, for those who can't be as mobile, you know, they can get to at least one show a week, and we have some that follow around, and still at the concerts on Thursday nights now this year, and we'll also be at different community events throughout the year, which is nice, so.
Well, thank you to you and the team for continuing that.
And the grounds look very nice this year on the parks. Very nice.
Yeah, our staff is we're very lucky to have our seasonals just started within the last couple of weeks, and now that they've started, it's really infused, and we have more horsepower to hit all the things we can, and our full-time staff is doing an amazing job.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. Great report. Agenda item 8.3, any commissioner reports? No, seeing none. Okay. The date of our next meeting is July 8th. Just be aware that if there's lack of items, that meeting may be canceled. So Amy is hoping for that. So I won't be able to attend, so she is going to be our leader. All right. Any other further business? If none, I will call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.